Hi YouTube. So today I wanted to make a video, a booktube video about some books that discuss love, and I wanted to just introduce these books. Hopefully that'll motivate more people to go out and go to the library and check out these books. So I have been interested in the topic of love because I listen to a lot of music and I love Stevie Wonder. Like, Stevie Wonder is one of my favorite artists and he sings a lot about love. And in his song Always, he goes, hate knows love's the cure. And that always stuck to me. Hate knows love's the cure. Then Beyonce and Jay-Z came out with Everything's Love. And then I was listening to a podcast, and Hey Friend Hey, which is one of the hosts on the Friend Zone, she mentioned this book, All About Love. And this book is really what started out my desire to read about love. So I just want to get right into it. I don't want to take too long, but I just want to say that I've been interested in the topic of love because given the climate that we live in right now, it's a lot of hate and a lot of just, negativity being portrayed, a lot of darkness right now, I feel like. But, I think the light is love, and we have to remember at the end of the day to have love for ourselves and love for other people. So the first book is the book that I'm currently reading right now because I got it from the library and I need to hurry up and read it so that it can go back. But it's A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. And I'm on the first part. I read the first 4 chapters, but I'm just going back to take notes. And I have some notes on my phone because I can't remember everything off the top of my head. So this book is A Return to Love, a reflection of the Course in Miracles, How Love is a Force and the Key to Inner Peace. This book was recommended by Hey Friend Hey, or not necessarily recommended, but I think she just briefly discussed it on the podcast, The Friend Zone. And I had also saw on Sheila Marie's Instagram that she was reading this book too. So I went out and got it from the library, and so far so good. This book, it's not a religious book, so if you read the back, it does discuss God and accepting God, but she argues that God is within all of us, so it's not necessarily like has anything to do with one specific religion, but she does use the word Christ and God. So I feel like all people of all religions can read this book and find some meaning in it. But again, the purpose of this book is to find inner peace. And I think that that's something I've been searching for because I am just naturally a negative, pessimistic person. It's a lot of chaos going on in my brain. And sometimes I can unload that onto people that are the closest to me, like the people who I trust with my opinions, people who I know if I say something to, they won't look at me crazy, but they don't always want to hear me rant and go on about things that irritate me or annoy me. So yeah, I do definitely want to find inner peace, and she in this book argues that love is the key to inner peace. So this is good so far. I'm really enjoying it. The next book I have is In the Meantime by Iyanla Vanzant. In the Meantime, Finding Yourself in the Love You Want. I've actually read this book, but I want to reread it because I read it like a year or 2 years ago. I've had it for a while. But In the Meantime, Finding Yourself in the Love You Want is a book that gives you guidance on relationships, not just romantic relationships, because in this book, she basically lets us know, because a lot of people associate love with romance, that love is so much more than that. Love is so much more than just having a romantic partner or romance in your life. It's pretty much saying, like, in the meantime, before you get to the point that you are striving and searching for, like, what do you want out of life? Basically, your vision for what you want in life, there's a point before that. That's the meantime. And in the meantime, you need to do the housekeeping to clean up all of the hurt and pain from your past. So she gives you guidance and tools on how to not let your past, your hurt, and your pain stifle you and prevent you from progressing to the point that you want, progressing to the height that you have envisioned for yourself. So this is a really good book. I know a lot of people do not like Iyanla Vanzant, but you know, her show is, not only is it to fix people's lives, but it's for entertainment, and a lot of people are entertained by other people's mess. She has to give the people what they want to see. Some people feel like that's not okay, that she's taking advantage of people, that she's exploiting people, but people come to her, as she has stated, and sign up for her show. But regardless of what people think about Iyanla, she has so many books. She's actually going on a book tour for one of her past books called Acts of Faith, and I'm definitely interested in going. It will be in my city in August, so I do want to see her live. I think she's an inspiration. I mean, if you know her story, look at how far she's come from being a single mother to being on Oprah. So yeah, so yes, in the meantime, if you want to learn how to clean up your mess, that's a good book to get. The next book I have is The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. He also wrote The Four Agreements, which is a super popular book. So this book, Don Miguel Ruiz, so he uses stories to bring his messages to life. This book focuses on fear and how to overcome fear, how to not let fear stop you from having healthy relationships, how to not allow fear to undermine love. I have read this book, but I do need to reread it because I read it in like blocks. So it's like all the information is like gone out of my head at this point, but I need to reread it and take notes. So this book provides guidance on how to heal from emotional wounds and how to capture the love inside of us. So it doesn't necessarily focus on romance. It just focuses on like our self and our past and the fears that are instilled in us by our society. So how to not let that stuff stifle you and stop you from love and life. So I thoroughly enjoyed this book and I will be rereading it. So the next book I have is, this book is the only book I have here that does not have love in the title, but this book is about self-love, and I read like halfway through. I need to go back and reread this book. But this book, The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown, and Brene Brown is somebody who is having a moment right now. I mean, she said that her TED Talk really catapulted her career, and now she has her Netflix situation. I don't know if it's a special or whatever it is, but I haven't watched it yet. But she has that. So a lot of people are becoming more familiar with Brene Brown and her work. The Gifts of Imperfection is a book that teaches you how to accept yourself and how to let go of who you think you are and be who you truly are. And a lot of us are who we think we are because of what other people have told us that we are. And this book teaches you how to embrace who you are truly. I got this book because for my entire life, people always tell me, you're so quiet, you're so shy, you're so standoffish. And oh my gosh, like, that has always been an insecurity of mine, my personality. So I got this book because I'm not perfect. Clearly, I don't have the most infectious personality. I'm not super charismatic. I don't draw people in. And people have made me aware of that. Now, I didn't know I was quiet and shy until people started telling me. And so it's something that I was not okay with. But this book teaches you to be okay with who you are. And so this is why I got this book. Like I said, I need to start over. Just start completely over. And it's not that long. So, yeah. This is The Gifts of Imperfection. And then the last 3 books are a trilogy that I have by Bell Hooks. So Bell Hooks is if you are not familiar with her, she's a cultural critic. She's a professor. She's been around for a very long time. She's a feminist. And she wrote this book all about love, which critiques American society and our culture. The book gives us insight onto what she believes is love, and she tries to provide us with a new path of love and how to heal from past hurt and pain. So this is a really good book. Like this, I've read this twice now. The second time I read it, I took notes. I enjoyed this book. It kind of gives you guidance on what is and what isn't love, what is and what's not healthy. So Bell Hooks is somebody who I was kind of turned off from, because in 2000 and when did Beyonce release her self-titled album? I think it was 2013. She went in on Beyonce when Beyonce put out her self-titled album, because Beyonce had went on this new feminist path, and she was sexy and talking about sex. You know, this was something that we had never heard from Beyonce. And so Bell Hooks was calling her like all kinds of names. And I think she was just criticizing her because, again, she's a critic. But, you know, I'm low-key a part of the Beehive. So I was like, what? Like, because, you know, I respected Bell Hooks. I knew who she was. I knew her work. And I respected her. But when she did that and said those things about Beyonce, I was like, wow, you know, it's rare that we see artists talk about feminism. And here Beyonce is, and now she's being torn down. But I think for Bell Hooks, she feels like Beyonce was using, I think, the movement as a marketing tool, that she wasn't really genuine. I don't know. I feel like with feminism should give all women the right and the freedom to express their femininity and their womanhood however they choose. And Beyonce chose to do it that way. As a mother, as a wife, she wanted to still let people know that you can still be sexy. But some people are not going to agree with that. So Bell Hooks did not agree with that. But, you know, I put that all aside and I was like, let me look into her books. So, yes, I highly recommend All About Love. If you want to just read a Bell Hooks book, I recommend this one. And then the two that I have not read yet are Communion and Salvation. So Communion is... The Female Search for Love, is a book that's geared towards women. And this book challenges females to courageously claim the search for love as a heroic journey we must all choose to truly be free. And this book also discusses feminism and how the feminist movement has changed the trajectory of women's lives, the workplace, women going into the workplace, and the culture of self-help, which a lot of women are like targeted by, like self-help books and self-help seminars. So she discusses all of that in this book, and I'm so interested in continuing. I'm just read the first chapter, but so far she's discussing feminism, and it made me think about how like feminism, again, like is a movement to liberate women, but sometimes it can hold women back, and some women are not free to, they're not as free as they think. They thought this movement would liberate them, but it also has its ways of limiting women too. And the last book that I want to discuss about love and that I intend on reading is Salvation, Black People and Love. This book, like this picture on the front, like everything, like I cannot wait to read this book. I'm an African American woman. My family's from the South, and this book I feel like is going to give some insight, because I don't have a lot of family. A lot of my family is gone, long gone, has moved, passed away. Because we're from the South, we migrated all over the country, and we're so spread apart. And Like, I don't have my grandparents to talk to. My parents, my father is gone. My mom is alive, but my mother is old. Like, I come from a very old family. And this book, I feel like, will enlighten me. And I'm Black, obviously. I understand and know my culture, but this book discusses the legacy of slavery, relationships, and marriage in Black life. And it discusses the liberation movements of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And also hip-hop and gangsta rap culture. And this book, hopefully, its purpose is to help us heal and shows us how to create beloved American communities. So I think with just present day with African Americans, we show love to one another, but I see a lot of the negative things outshining the positive. Just especially here on YouTube with Black men and Black women just constantly creating videos, going in on each other. It makes it seem like we hate each other. There's a lack of representation for Black love in society, and it's sad. It saddens me because I'm a Black woman and I see Black love every day. But we don't feel it, and we don't feel like it's real. And it's so real, and it's possible for Black people to love ourselves and to be in relationships and healthy relationships with one another. But we have to stop letting the propaganda and the negativity outshine the positive things and the fact that we need each other. We need each other. The only way Black people will survive is if Black people thrive and Black people love. So I am so interested in reading this book. I can't wait, but I just want to finish communion first and then get into the salvation. So those are the books that I intend on reading, my motivations behind reading them. Hopefully some of these books looked appealing to you. Maybe you can go out to your library and check some of them out, and then if you really like them, then you can go buy them, because I'm trying to get out of buying a lot of books. And even though today I just bought 2 books, but they were only $4 a piece, they were on sale, so whatever. But yeah, if you really love these books, I would suggest actually going out and buying them, because you can reference them, you can loan them out to your friends, you can have discussions with your family on them. So yes, that's all I have today. I gotta head out and go to yoga class. But thank you guys for watching this video. Please comment if you're interested, or if you have read any of these books. Let me know what you think about them. Please like this video if you like it, and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. So thank you for watching. Bye.